Hello YouTube and welcome back to W140 Restorations, in the next episode of Project Heidi. I got a lot of comments on the short that I posted about balancing a nickel on the V8 of Project Heidi, and also tons of comments about when I changed the valve cover gaskets and the oiler separator tube on Heidi. People went nuts. They're like, how come you didn't change the oilers? How come you didn't change the oilers? That's what the problem is, change the oilers. And I'm going to. I just didn't have all the parts to do it. I bought everything that I could get from FCP Euro, from Febby Bilstein to do it. I've got both the right and left bank cam guides to change those over. They're very, very brittle, and you have to change them to get to the front oilers for cylinder 1 and cylinder 5 on these V8s. And also the short that I showed on YouTube for balancing the nickel, the accessory drive was so loud, and a lot of people commented on how loud it was. So in this episode, we're going to take care of squeaky and take care of ticky and get everything running and ship shape on the top of Project Heidi. All right, next up is taking care of this really loud idler we've got on Heidi. We're gonna pop the little plastic cover off that just snaps on and snaps off. Keep that right there. I've already taken the serpentine belt off. Rather easy to do, but you can hear that this is nice and loud, so we've got to get in here and get the stud that holds the old idler on, and replace this new idler that we've got that is going to be super quiet, along with this new continental belt that we've got. So let me grab a wrench. We want to make sure it's fully seated. Oh my goodness. Oh, the question is, how long has this thing been in here? Oh gosh, there it goes. Whew. Holy crap. That's the longest Allen bolt ever. Yikes. Okay, yeah, there it is, nice and rusty on the end. We'll clean that up before we put it in, and shot. So let me go clean this up, and be right back. We'll put the new one on. All right, I got my new idler. We're gonna put our 6mm hex or Allen back in. Use that to hand tighten it first. That's tight. Come on, get in there. Yeah, she's starting to thread on. Silent, we like it. That's the way it should be. Like I said, standard right hand thread, so. Hand tighten, I'll take a look. See if I can find the torque specs, but there it is. All right, our Continental 6P PK 2510. Brand new. The belt that was on here wasn't bad. Had a few miles on it, but let's go ahead and put this new one on. And the nice thing about the M119s is you don't have to take anything off to get the belt on. You just have to route it around and through, but you don't have to take the fan off. You don't have to do anything else to get the serpentine belt on. Checked the torque specs, and what I read in the book is 25 Newton meters for the Allen 6mm bolt that goes in and holds the idler. Put the new Continental on, and easy way to remember for the routing is start with the crank and go left. Start with the crank and go to the right, and the water pump it's touched twice, top and bottom. It probably looks like I jumped forward miles, but I didn't. I took all the air intake and the plastic pieces off. That stuff's really easy to come off, but what I want to show you all is I had such a rough kind of running V8. Then I started pulling coils, and what I found was when I looked at number 5 was broken, so I replaced 5. When I pulled the wire out of 8, nothing changed, so realized that coil 8 was bad, so replaced those 2. And I know that I've got ticking sound coming out of the driver's side worse than the passenger side. So next step is what we've done before. All the bolts out for the coils, pull the wires, and then go around the outside of this. If anyone watching this video is like, oh my gosh, he jumped forward so fast, please take a look at the videos of changing the spark plugs and the coils and the valve cover gasket. It'll explain how I got to here so fast in this episode. So I did want to show you all again things I've already done. So let's get into this side and getting these oilers replaced. Let's see how many of these gaskets want to stay, and see if it'll even loosen up or if I have to knock it a bit. Oh, look at that. God bless. Amazing. I mean, I was just in here, so. Oh, she's beautiful. So here's the main reason that I waited. These clips right here go from side to side and snap together for the timing chain, and they break. They've been setting in oil for probably the originally ones, you know, so 1996 car, 2024, a long time. Pushing 30 years that these have been setting in here in oil, and they break very easily, these clips do. So I got new ones to replace these, because when I loosen these up to change this oiler, there's a high likelihood this is going to break. So that's one of the reasons that I didn't change the oilers from the get, because I didn't have all the parts. And from driving Heidi and from listening to Heidi in the garage, one of these is or if not all of these oilers are bad, and that's why she ticks pretty bad on this side. The cams look good, not a lot of wear or rubbing on the cams. The cams all look good, both the intake and the exhausts. So if anything, exhaust number 7 gives me just a little bit of pause, but aside from that, all the lobes look good, and they're in working order. So let's get to starting taking these oilers off. All right, I've got the clean end. I have my interior tools. Oh, I told you they're brittle, and dear Lord are they. So, oh, that broke 2 of them. Rather throw it on the floor than it fall into the valve train. So let's, yeah, that one broke too. Brittle. It was the wise decision not to go ahead and start messing with this without having the replacement parts. Damn. So very brittle. I'm just going to go ahead and break it off. Oh, those are the ones I don't want to break. 4 on top, 2 on bottom. Oh, goodness. All right. 2 on bottom stayed, which you can see. And the 4 that are on top are on the floor, along with soon to be this part. So that's done. Next is going to be loosening these two, pulling that out, and then going ahead and taking the cam caps off. And at every turn, I'm going to be changing gloves and making sure that I have fresh gloves no matter what, because in no way, shape, or form do I want to contaminate the inside of the valve train. All right. New gloves. Clean sockets. Make sure to tap on the bolt. Make sure that it wasn't, grace of God, not going to break off in there. Let's get this cam guide out. Okay. Hardware's out. Socket's out. And there's the cam guide. Looks like it's been in there since the beginning of time. We're going to go ahead and set this aside and take a look at where it mounted to make sure everything's all right. Okay. Here's our chain. That's where the guide's attached, and we're going to go ahead and loosen these two, and then these two, and we're going to do the first oiler. Okay, cleaned off my extension. I've got a deep well only because it's a 6-point. I don't want to booger any of these bolts up. And here we go. We're going to start with the intake. There it goes. Then we're going to loosen the exhaust. Wipe off our socket. Set our tools down. And we're going to make sure we got a clean cloth laying down here. We're not gonna rush. There is no race. There's nothing to win here. There's only things to lose. So with that, top and bottom and intake. Oh, come on, beautiful. Look at that. Very nice. Do the same thing for the exhaust side. I don't think I'm going to pull the bolts out because I don't want to even have the possibility of these washers falling out. Make sure they're loose. Top one is, bottom one is. I'm just going to pull the whole assembly out and straight out. Just like that. And set it off to the side. So intake on top, exhaust on the bottom. So we'll have the intake on the left and exhaust on the right. And our very first oiler, I'm going to get down behind it, gently wiggle. Make sure she doesn't break. Make sure she comes out. Also make sure that the gaskets come out as well. You can see the original green Mercedes-Benz O-rings are still in there. I called them a gasket a second ago, but they're O-rings. And out comes the old oiler. And we'll also set it off to the side and put our new one in. Just a recommendation. I should have filmed it when I started pouring the oil over the oilers. But you see little bubbles of air start coming out of them, and there's nothing else that's been in this liquid moly bottle except for oil. And it's a fresh oil change oil can, so I know there's nothing in it except for oil in these oilers now. So I don't like running them dry. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just being over precautious because a lot of work goes into this, but making sure that they are oiled up before you put them in. So we'll grab one out of here in a second and start putting them back in one at a time. All right, first one is in. Very carefully and in reverse order. clean my hands with a new rag. We'll torque them down. All right, hands clean. Hands tight. Turn on our torque wrench, and the manual on this engine says in 2 different places, 2 different torques. In the very beginning, when it talks about the cam and the keepers near the cam, it says 10 Newton meters. And later on, about 4 paragraphs down, it says 12. So it doesn't have to be super tight. We're gonna go 11. We're gonna do it multiple steps. That's it. It does not take a lot. And it doesn't seem like a lot, and guys, it isn't. That's it. Just a little bit. Whew. Just a little bit nerve-wracking. First one, it's installed correctly. The sealed part goes towards the bottom, and 15 more to do. Let's get the cam guide back in first. Driver side cam. Part number 119-050-0216 for our cam follower and guide. It's going to slide right down in here. There it goes. And just like the one we took off, the bottom part snaps in, and it's going to be a 2-part assembly into one. I'll take our metric Allen head and put the first one in, and the second one. I think the torque specs are also like everything else on the head. It's 21 Newton meters with these bolts. Let me go double check really quick and set up my torque wrench, because right now it's only set on 11 Newton meters. So clean the hands, clean the tools, put these in hand tight, clean them off again, and let me go double check the specs. I want to say it's 21. Okay, I am back, and I was way off. I just checked, and 9 Newton meters. I was blown away that it's that low, but it is what it is. Making sure that this is clean, there's nothing around. There's 9. I could have sworn it was going to be higher than that. And back to double check. Right at 9. Somebody has different specs. Put it in the comments. I'd love to know. And your source as well. So we're going to leave those at 9. And let's get the bottom guide and put it on there. And the lower is 119 052 0916. This is the corresponding one that has 4 tabs on the top and 2 on the bottom, and making sure that when we slide it on there, we don't break anything off. So, oof. Nice and gentle. There it is. And she's locked into place. Make sure the bottom tabs are through. They are. Okay. Time to do 7 more on the driver's side, and then we'll do the other 8 on the passenger side. So let's get after it. We're gonna do the same thing every time. Intake, then exhaust. We're gonna put the intakes on the left on our clean towel and the exhausts on the right. We put a little dab of oil on them. When we put them back on top of the cam, we're gonna go real slow. We're gonna take them off in one assembly so we don't drop the washers way down in the valve trains. Okay. I'm going to take you all over here a little bit closer so you can see what I'm looking at here in the W140 restoration garage, just how nice the cams look. Yep, super happy with that. And let's get these oilers out. With my exhaust first. All right, everybody, here is why we did this. I will show you all this hole out the back end. So cylinder number, 7? So the oiler blew out on 7. So this is all the ticking is right here because of that. No oil was making it from the lower side across to the upper side. So we'll get this one replaced, just like the other 15 for 16 total. And yeah, this is why we do it. It's a lot just to get to this one little thing, but that's been the problem the entire time. There's Ticky. Okay, everybody. Whoo! I had to go to a short socket because I could not get past part of the firewall on the exhaust side. But I did, and last ones on this side for cylinder number 8. I thought they were loose. A little bit tighter than the other ones. Yeah, it was. But the very last one on this side, a Heidi. Let's get these out and take a look and see what this last oiler looks like. Got 7 down, 1 to go on this side. And it's been slow and steady. Wiping your hands, changing your gloves, making sure that you're not going fast, making sure that the intake caps go back on the intake, the exhaust go back on the exhaust, examining everything. I put a little dollop of oil on each of the cams to make sure they weren't just turning dry before oil pressure builds up. You don't want that. I've read about people using engine builder's lube. I've got some. I thought that liquid moly would be good enough. So let's go ahead and take a look at the very last of the caps. I thought I had them all unscrewed. And of course the ones in the front are different because they've got the risers for the guides. And the ones in the back are different as well. So, nice and shiny. That's the way we like it. Pull it quietly and safely out, and look at that. You all know what that is. If you watched the episode about changing the valve cover gaskets, this is the crap that gets caught in your oil pickup. It gets inside of your engine, it just floats around forever. So we'll get that out of there. No good. Let's see what this last oiler looks like. And the back of the head is different than the middle of the head, of course, just different than the front of the head. Oh man, this one's in there. Oh, that one was a pain. It's in one piece, it's not broken, but holy crap. That one did not want to give up. Look what I found. You guys know what that is? That is the cap that goes on the original Mercedes. Still has a Mercedes. Look, this is the original one that came out of the car. Found it. I was like, what is that? Sitting back over here. Like, what else is back in there? Keep sharing all of our secrets. Little by little, we're eventually going to learn all of them. But now we found the cap and the oiler. We know why she was ticking on the driver's side bank. And let's get our last oiler. All right. They're torque to spec, every one of them. Whew! Not necessarily hard work, but tedious work. We have gotten all of the oilers in on the driver's side. Here, you see. All right, from cylinder 8 to cylinder 5, as well as our new timing guide. Time to button her back up and repeat and do everything on passenger side. Okie doke. Same thing from the driver's side. Make sure we got clean towels, clean tools. Make sure everything is ready to go. Grab my parts, and we'll start with the timing chain guide and work backwards through our oilers. So yeah, let's get this off first. They're so brittle. Let's get the bottom ones. Oh, that one broke off. That's no fun. And that one broke off too. All right, there is the passenger side chain guide. I had 2 tabs break off on the bottom. I need to find them. You'll see they broke off right here, so I need to find those pieces. There's one from the top. You don't want to leave any of this in the crankcase at all. All right. Like I said, you want to get every piece of this out in the crankcase. And to be honest, I'd rather break the ones off the top than the bottom, and that didn't happen this time, so. You know what, I'll be damned. There it is. Just when I had given up hope. Holy crap. Unbelievable. No joke. I'll be damned. Just having me sitting on top of the chain. Oh, I was at this for a long time. There it is. I'm not going to make anything up on this channel. That's not what I'm all about. I'm pretty forthright human being. So there's 2 broken tabs and 1 broken off the top, and there's 1, 2, and 3. And just in case people question it, there's the top one. I'll move it out of the way. Here's the bottom 2. That one fits right there, and this other one fits right there. There it is. All right, I got all 3. Good God. Glad that's over with. Let's get to replacing these oilers, because that's what this episode's all about. So something that I like to do and something that I showed on the other side, we're gonna do again. Now that we can take a deep breath, I like putting my new oilers in oil to make sure they get full of oil. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Make sure that they're soaking in there and ready to go. And we're gonna start taking off these bad boys, starting at the front, moving to the back. Straight out. This is the intake. And we're always going to keep them in orientation for how we took them off. We have a new oiler. Make sure it's oriented appropriately. Put her back in. Oil on the cam. Put these back in exact reverse order. All right, there's the first one. Okay, the passenger side timing chain guide is 119 05 00316. Febby Bilstein Look at that, just like the one we took out. Getting that off, and the second part is 119-052-0916. And then there's the 2 new tabs on the bottom and 4 on the top. And 1 click. There we go. All right. All right, everybody, and the last one is going to be cylinder number 4, and it is the end of the camshaft. Okay, let's take a look. The camshaft cap look really good. That's for somebody. See, this is why you don't use RTV on your valve cover gaskets. That right there, crap is everywhere. Get rid of that. Okay, yeah, nice and clean on the exhaust. Oh yeah, and the intake. Very, very nice. The ones on the very, very end are different than the ones by the camshaft timing chain. So they're different. The ones in the middle look exactly the same. And there's a little bit of silicone right there. Gotta get rid of that. Bye-bye. And everybody, this is the last oiler. All the other 15 are out. Oh, there it is. See how those old green O-rings are kind of brown from being in there since the beginning of time. So we'll jettison number 16. Bye-bye. Clean our fingers off. And get number 16 out of there. You can see what they look like up close. Nice and green and full of oil. So I haven't really said it out loud, but what I'm doing, because this digital torque wrench will show you what the actual Newton meters are, doing about 3 equal steps. First one to about 5 Newton meters, second one to around 9 or 10 Newton meters, and then the second one all the way through right to 11 and 12. Right in between is where I want it. So right at 10 is when the green light starts coming on, and then the third time around, I'm gonna make sure it's on right there to spec. Nice visual indicator that you're right there as well. Yep. We go to green then red real fast. All right, we're done. Time to clean off the head. Make sure there's no oil where the valve cover gasket is going to go back on. Put my oil separator tube back in. That was a previous video. Make sure this is all buttoned back up. Check and make sure the oil level is correct. Put the air box back on, and we'll come back and see how she sounds once everything is put back together. All right, I've got the valve covers back on, torque to spec, coils in, torque to spec. Make sure to clean off the ground, and that, plus the PCV valve, is gonna be it. Go ahead and get the air box back on. Pull that out of the way and over, and different vantage point. That mount is in, that mount is in. That down. Main vacuum line that comes off the intake that goes to our brake booster. Make sure we have power brakes is back on. Make sure it's tight because we don't want to lose any vacuum. For the passenger side, driver's side is different. Different orientation. That's back together. That's back on. That's back on. I checked the oil vanity cover. There's a little notch. Gotta make sure this rubber grommet that's on the vacuum that goes to the brake booster is in there, down, in front. Get that wiped off. Okay, everybody cross your fingers. Let's see what she sounds like. That's pretty good. I know that was loud. Yep. Nice. With the lights out, which I'm working on. No squealing, no ticking. All right. I give that a huge thumbs up. Everyone, thank you so very much for watching. If you love the content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Tell your friends and neighbors. I love the comments. Respond to all of them. Thank you all very much for watching, for supporting the channel, and we'll see you again next time here on W140 Restorations. Bye, everybody.